on your mother's name. At that much. Do the best you can. What is it this time? You're supposed to announce this to your class right away. Class, may I have your attention, please? There's been a change in today's assembly schedule. Listen carefully. Please ignore previous instructions in Circular 3, paragraphs 5 and 6, and follow the following. This morning there will be a long homeroom period extending into the first half of the second period. First period classes will begin the fourth period. Second period classes will begin the fifth period. Third period classes will begin in the sixth, and so on. Subject classes being shortened to 23 minutes except lunch, which will be normal.
I didn't hear. What did you say?
What's today's date?
It's September. Imbecile.
This is a long homeroom. Is there an assembly today? Please, I'm not finished yet. Tomorrow, our Y2 sections will follow today's program for X2 sections, while our X2 sections will follow today's program for Y2 sections. Where do we go? What period is this? It's your first. Please stop throwing the board away. Excuse me. Friedenberg for guidance wants to Joe girl right away. He isn't here. Will you please pass your cards down while I start the call? I ain't start yet. I'm waiting for the pen. How do you spell your name? Will you please have to order?
No, wait, look, he says I was related.
Who?
McHabe.
Mr. McHabe.
Either way.
Class, please finish your cards while I call the roll.
I never got no card.
Any card. And you are?
Oh, Paul Barrett. I teach English at 309. Sorry to interrupt, but could I borrow your board eraser?
Yeah. No, I'm afraid it's gone.
I could get one for you, Mr. Barringer.
Never mind. Anyway, we've got something in common.
What's that?
No erasers.
Please sit down. I must take attendance. If I mispronounce any of the new names, please correct me. Buzzy, Helen.
She's dropping out.
Oh, yes.
The custodian says there's no one down there.
How can he say that when he's down there?
That's what he says. Any answer?
No answer. Blake, Alice.
Present.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm present.
Blanca, Carmelita, Carol. I changed my name. Blanca, Carol's here. Borden. Yes?
Miss Friedenberg wants to service credit cards for last term.
I'm in the middle of taking attendance.
She needs them right away.
But I wasn't even here last term.
Second, the office wants to know, are the transportation cards ready? Third, fill this out immediately.
Not so fast. The what cards?
Transportation, bus, and subway.
I haven't even taken a test. Please don't tilt that chair. Wait, in back, yeah, I'm talking to you.
So I fell. Big deal. Are you hurt?
No, just my head. You better make out an accident report, 3 copies, and send them to the nurse.
The nurse ain't even allowed to give out aspirin.
Only tea.
You call this a desk?
You could sue the whole Board of Education.
That's all we need.
You'd better go to the nurse and ask her for the accident report blanks. Is there something else?
You're supposed to read this to your class. From the library.
Library. Class attention, please. The school library is your library. All students are encouraged to use it at all times. However, the library will be closed until further notice for freshman orientation.
Like they'll ever use it after that?
I've got 11 more messages.
Then we'll get back to attendance. We won't get back to attendance. What is it?
New change in assembly program. Your class goes to different rows. X2 schedule rows.
I see.
And this is urgent from Mr. McHabe.
To all teachers, a blue Pontiac parked in front of the school has been overturned. The following license is yours. Tell Mr. McHabe I don't drive. Now class.
Action reports, but she wants to missing the dentist.
Missing dentals? We'll get to that later. I'm going to finish attendance and then we're going just much too early. It may be a mistake. We have guests to go. You heard it.
All the teachers are letting them out.
But we haven't even finished attendance.
When the bell rings,
We're supposed to go.
Where do we go with Stephanie?
Sit down. I'd like to... Please stay in. We have so much to do. Please stay in your seat. It looks as if we're the only ones left. You're Alice?
Alice Blake, I want you to know how much I enjoyed your lesson.
Well, thanks, but it wasn't really... There's more?
Just one. You're supposed to announce this to your class right away.
Please disregard the bells. Students are to remain in their homerooms until the next bell. Thanks.
Maybe I should have given you this one first.
Maybe. And I thought I might begin with the importance of first impressions. Program cards, requisition slips, transportation cards, service credit cards. male and female. Indicate the number of...
You, Barrett.
What's this?
Late pass.
Well, that's no way to hand it to me.
My aim is bad.
There's no need for insubordination. Please, take that toothpick out of your mouth when you talk to me, and take your hands out of your pockets.
Which first?
What's your name?
You gonna report me?
What's your name?
You gonna give me a 0?
I had just a... What is your name?
Joe.
Joe what?
Ferone. You gonna send a letter home, take away my lollipop, give me a detention?
All I ask.
Yeah, all you ask.
I don't allow anyone to talk to me like that.
So you're
So I'm lucky. Hello? Room 508? B. Schachter? You said just holler? B. Oh, what's the matter? Not having fun? I'm having problems. I don't think I even understand the language. A student called me, hi, Teach.
Well, maybe he liked you. Why not answer hi, Pew?
I don't think I could ever bring up haiku. And the paperwork, I'm buried beneath an avalanche.
That I can clarify. Let it be a challenge to you. Means you're stuck with it. Keep on file in numerical order. Means throw in the wastebasket. Interpersonal relationships is a fight between kids. Ancillary civic agencies for supportive discipline means call the cops. Literature based on child's reading level and experiential background means that's all they've got in the book room. Non-academic minded is a delinquent, and it has come to my attention means you're in trouble.
That I believe.
Did you get anything done in homeroom?
I took attendance, as far as B. A boy fell off of a chair, and I forgot to have them salute the flag, which is probably illegal.
On assembly days, they salute the auditorium. What's illegal now is Bible reading.
How about a short silent prayer?
Only if the word prayer isn't mentioned, and if you don't move your lips. And remember, there's no such thing as a permanent pass to the water fountain.
And what do I do about those PPPs?
Almost sings, doesn't it? Those are the pupil personality profiles, invented by Friedenberg, guidance counselor who thinks she's Sigmund Freud. She bases her PPPs on such interview questions as, why do you hate your parents?
If I don't ask, how do I find out? Latent maladjustments may exhibit themselves in socially unacceptable behaviors in the classroom. This is a crucial period in the development of the adolescent. Please send all new pupils to me for in-depth coverage. However, send the disruptive elements to Mr. McHabe. Mr. McHabe again.
The assistant principal. He's very strict. I don't know, maybe he has to be, but try to avoid him. He's in charge of discipline and supplies. Can't bear to part with a paperclip. Ask him for a pencil, and he turns white.
To all faculty, diligence, accuracy, and promptness are essential in carrying out all instructions. Teachers with extra time are to report to the office to assist with activities which demand attention. Regarding your requisition of supplies, please anticipate your needs. Money is tight this year, supplies are limited. Only one box of paper per teacher for the entire year. Do not make excessive demands. However, any teacher wishing decorative posters, we have a few left. Blue on white, knowledge is power. Also, black on white, learning equals earning. Also, brown and tan of the Swiss Alps. Slightly torn, but still usable.
The Swiss Alps?
You never know.
Students delinquent in obtaining athletic suits are to be alphabetized and reported. Girls who wish to be excused from gym are to be sent to me with all pertinent data.
Frances Egan, the school nurse.
Please discourage excessive dieting in your homeroom.
No books are to be removed from the library until the computer system is online. ID cards must be used when checking out an item.
The librarian, Charlotte Wolfe.
Do not encourage students to purchase paperback editions of Shakespeare and other authors. Because of outside pressures, we should not expose them to insufficiently edited or unexpurgated text.
Samuel Bester, the chairman of the English department. A brilliant teacher, so naturally he's promoted right out of the classroom.
Teachers should function according to instruction. This means hand in on time.
Sadie Finch, the school secretary.
Pupils are to report back to their homerooms to be checked off at 2:56. Dismissal bell will ring at 3:05 sharp. This, however, is uncertain.
Send all latenesses to the lateness coordinator. If excused is invalid or suspend, send offenders to me. Please read to your students a list of infractions to instill in them a sense of civic responsibility. Also, post in a prominent place in homeroom, a student who is late may fail to graduate.
Well, I have to leave you now. I'm trying to salvage a potential dropout.
The very first girl I called on today was dropping. Our Buzzy, Helen.
I've got to drop out, Miss Barrett. I've got to work. I'm of age and my income is needed at home.
Why don't we talk this over, Helen? Perhaps we can find some way to
Why talk? Most school is a waste anyhow. Every period, another subject. Algebra, French, Econ, English. One after the other. What good is it?
If you'd give me a chance, I could tell you.
It's all a jumble, and in every class, the teacher tells you something different, so you don't know who to believe.
But before you take the step that's going to affect your whole life, we should at
Save
least...
your breath. I'm better off out.
Miss Barrett,
Yes, Mr. McHabe?
it has come to my attention that you've neglected to fill out Form B22 accident report of a fall from a chair incurred by a student in your official homeroom. Such negligence may result in serious consequences.
But he wasn't hurt. Mr. McHabe, my real concern is...
Before leaving the building today, please fill out Form B22 in triplicate.
Yes, Mr. McHabe.
Thank you. You there! Just a minute!
I think you're expecting a bit much, Miss Barrett.
Admiring your penmanship?
Suddenly my name looks unfamiliar to me. A strange feeling I didn't even spell it right.
For the teacher who has everything.
A board eraser? Thank you.
McHabe wasn't around, so I took two.
You'll have to do better, Miss Barrett.
So, qui peut. I have a free, an unassigned period. I'll be having coffee in the teacher's lounge.
Well, maybe if I can get through these locker assignments.
Then I'll see you.
B. Schachter. I'm with the students, and quickly. You haven't told me about Paul Barringer.
The glamour boy of the English department, unpublished writer. Such men are dangerous. He'll woo you with rhymes. You're on your own.
I see.
A moment, Miss Barrett. Was Joe Ferone in homeroom this morning? Did he stay until the bell?
He was a little bit late, but he stayed to the bell.
You're certain? It's very important. A valuable wallet was stolen during homeroom, and I understand Ferone was seen loitering in that vicinity just before the bell.
Then it couldn't have been Joe. He was in homeroom.
I see. Was he any trouble?
Trouble?
Disruptive, rude, any trouble?
No trouble.
If you think it helps to cover up for them, then you are very much mistaken.
Unless there's something else, Mr. McHabe. I'm going for a cup of coffee.
Better luck next time, McHabe.
That's Mr. McHabe to you.
Mister.
I deal with punks like you every year.
Please ascertain the number of students who have not had a hot breakfast this morning. Now that winter is approaching, this is particularly important. Poor nutrition is frequently the cause of poor marks.
Calvin Coolidge Clarion. Get your copy of the Clarion. Don't miss the Halloween issue, just out today. Interviews, and a message from our principal.
Your education has been planned and geared to arm and prepare you to function as mature and thinking citizens. I'm sure you will all prove worthy and deserving of our trust and expectations. Signed, Dr. Maxwell Clarke, Principal.
Faculty flashes from the Clarion.
The teacher the girls would love to be on a desert island with most is Mr. Paul, poet Barringer. Oh, the teacher ready, unselfish helps, Mrs. B, Mom Schachter. The most glamorous teacher, Miss Sylvia Barrett. She's only been with us since September, but we hope she stays a while. As a special service, your Clarion has inaugurated the Lost and Found column. First, to list the lost.
Green plaid jacket, torn lining, and broke zipper. Urgent need. Signed, Lou Martin.
Makeup kit, imitation red alligator, Linda Rosen.
Hollywood Horoscope of Stars magazine. Reward, Alice Blake.
Lost or stole the left ledge of my eyeglasses between here and history. Signed, Edward Williams II.
And now the found. No problems. Students, the clearing is the voice of your school. Please subscribe and solicit ads. Keep talking.
All teachers, attention! Do not accept lateness excuse due to fire on the subway. This was checked by Mr. McHabe with the Transit Authority. There was no fire on the subway.
Mr. McHabe to Miss Barrett. Please note that Joe Ferone has been placed on probation. True officer reports no such address as the one given. Subject teachers claim he's been cutting classes. Nurse says he's on dental blacklist. Lots of luck, Joe.
Watch the baby a minute, please. I have a letter from my friend Sylvia. We went to college together. Now she's teaching in New York. A far cry from graduate school, and Professor Winter's lectures on the psychology of the adolescent. I've met the adolescent face to face. Obviously, Professor Winters has not. Why don't you go to your suburban supermarket with your baby in your cart, or taking a shower in the middle of third period?
I'm automatically erasing the latest graffiti from the blackboard. Even the building seems hostile. Cracked plaster, broken windows, carved up desks and gloomy corridors. I've been here only 2 months and already I'm in a battle I'll probably lose.
Over that boy you mentioned in your last letter?
Joe Ferone. Insolent, contemptuous, very bright, but flunking every subject.
Why fight for that one?
I don't know. Maybe because I sense something in his rebelliousness that's like mine. Or maybe it's because he's been so damaged.
But you're not there to fight for them. You're a teacher.
I keep thinking of Maddie, who was in college with us. Right now she's at Willowdale Academy, holding seminars on James Joyce and the philosophic maples.
What keeps you from Willowdale? That other teacher, Paul something?
Barringer?
Tell me about him.
Well, all I really know is he's clever and attractive. But there's something about him that eludes.
Eludes?
It's hard to say. For one thing, he waits till the hall traffic subsides before leaving his classroom. I have a feeling he does this to avoid being touched by the kids. And he seems just passing through here, marking time teaching till he gets published, and then he can leave.
And you and the girl students find this intriguing and
devastating. There's a girl in my class, Alice Blake, who's almost lovesick over the man.
The thing I really like about him, Miss Barrett?
Please, Alice.
He never sits behind the desk. He either sits on top or leans against it. And have you ever noticed? One eyebrow is higher than the other.
Alice, the subject is Homer's The Odyssey.
I know, and the myths and their meanings. But have you ever noticed?
I'm looking forward to your paper, Alice.
Yes, Miss Barrett.
Well, have you?
Have I what?
Noticed his eyebrows. You know, the one that's higher than the... What possible difference is that? Sorry, can't finish now. I think it's Paul coming. I'll send the rest of the letter tomorrow.
What's the matter with Alice Blake?
There's nothing the matter with Alice Blake.
Don't bite my head off. Especially now, because you're about to be immortalized. I've found a rhyme for Sylvia Barrett.
Nothing rhymes with Barrett.
14 carat. Why did you insist on going home right after dinner last night?
Papers tomorrow.
No one takes it that seriously. You were put off by my bad mood. It was the latest rejection slip. The tone is not only courteous, but patronizing. Why don't I write of something familiar?
Well,
What do they want me to write about? Calvin Coolidge High School?
at least they couldn't say you're not familiar with.
Kids sprawling in classrooms, yawning in assembly, pushing through hallways.
That's the surface, Paul. If you get closer...
Do you get closer?
I'm trying to, but I haven't even found what to call them yet. Teenagers? Kids? Youngsters? Young adults? Those expressions all seem stilted, inappropriate, even offensive.
Let it go at pupil load. Sylvia, I've been working on a new novel. This one's going to make it. Let's have a cup of coffee later and I'll tell you all about it.
Sure, Paul.
It's a big subject. A nuclear physicist. He's marooned on a peninsula in Kamchatka.
I looked up Kamchatka. It's at the farthest end of Russia, opposite Japan. Maybe he knows all about it. Maybe he's reached Calvin Coolidge High via the Trans-Siberian Railroad. More likely the subway. Are you reaching the students? No. But there was a beautiful moment yesterday. I put on the board Browning's "A man's reach should exceed his grasp," or "What's the heaven for?" Then we were involved, a spirited discussion. Aspiration versus reality. Is it wise to aim higher than one's capacity?
Yes. No.
Does it doom one to failure?
Of course.
Don't be stupid.
How are you going to make progress?
What about ambition?
So what? So you get frustrated?
And hope? What about hope?
You've got to be practical. I say you've got to have a dream. Hitch your wagon to a star. What about shoemaker, stick to your list? Miss Barrett, calling me. My turn. Call me.
Miss Barrett!
Yes, Mr. McHabe?
Can't you keep your class in order?
They're in order.
Then what is the meaning of all this?
The meaning of what?
All this noise!
The noise? Mr. McHabe, that's the sound of thinking.
There will be a series of 3 bells rung 3 times indicating shelter drill. Loud discussions do not encourage the orderly evacuation of class.
And I suppose he has his problems too. But keeping order is getting to be the important thing. Enthusiasm is frowned on because it gets noisy. I don't know that I'm reaching them at all. Perhaps other English teachers are more successful. Let it be a challenge to you. How do other teachers... Class, what have you gotten out of English so far?
During my many years of frequenting school, I am well satisfied with my instruction, and I hope to achieve further progress in my chosen program, Mr. Blood.
Hey, Harry, loser.
What I got out of it is literature and books. But having boys in class distracts me from my English. Better luck next time.
I hope this term will be good, because you seem to be a lot. Though it's too early to tell.
Being you're still new, you show I made a bargain with my teachers. If I don't bother them, they won't bother me.
Edward?
Edward Williams II. All the teachers flunk me because I'm different. Frankly, I'll prefer a teacher just telling them no good in English than giving me dirty looks in the hall.
What I learned in English is to doodle. I mean, English is so boring, I spend a lot of time doodling.
Essays, a lot of gossip. Ivanhoe's for the birds, and George Eliot stinks, even though he is a lady.
A kaleidoscope, a crazy quilt, an ever-shifting pattern, shapes that come and go, leaving no echo behind. Such is my remembrance of lost vanished hours of English, from whence I rise, all creativity stifled. Yet a phoenix with hope reborn. Will it be different this term? The question, poised on the spear of time, is still unanswered. I was supposed to be in Miss Schachter's creative writing class, but because of a conflict, I couldn't get in.
Sorry about that. Let me ask a specific question. Why do we study myths? The Odyssey.
Because we want to talk like cultured people. At a party, how would you like it if someone mentioned a Greek god and you didn't know him? You'd be embarrassed.
What good is diversity if I still get hard assignments?
We study myths to learn what it was like to live in the Golden Age with all of the killings.
If it wasn't for myths, where would Shakespeare be? We study myths because they're about love.
To me, the Odyssey is just another Ethan Frome or Death of a Salesman. Who wants to hear about someone's trouble?
Everyone has to read them, and it's our turn. Man.
Myths help us gain tolerance for others, even if they don't deserve it.
We read them because they're classical.
My opinion is that I hated the Odyssey. Homer's a lousy writer.
Why do you ask us these questions? What are you trying to prove? No one in this school gives a damn about us. It's the same at home and on the street outside. You probably don't care for my language, so give me a 0 in vocabulary. Anyway, you know, I'm quitting. The end of this term. Joining the dogs, eating the dogs in this lousy world that you're educating us for. But don't worry. You'll find plenty willing to play your game of Baba, Little Lamb, strut and step, and get your nice clean diplomas served on dirt. Yummy. I trust this answers your question.
You express yourself vividly, Joe. And your metaphors, from dogs to lambs, are apt. I'd give you higher marks than you'd give yourself. Joe, before you decide to quit, we should talk. Can you see me after school today? There's so much... Well, I wish I could...
Yeah, I don't understand them big words. And I'm busy after school. Every day. You'll have to prove yourself on your own time.
The first time you've ever been early.
I missed the class before this because of McHabe.
Mr. McHabe.
Yeah. Told me to give you a message.
Please admit Barrett to class. He was detained by me for going up the down staircase and subsequent insubordination. J.J. McHabe.
Yeah, think of that.
Sit in the chair, please. Did you bring your homework? Why not?
I didn't do it.
Why?
I just didn't.
Someday you'll have to prove yourself, Joe. You have so much you're not using. You could...
Yeah, I'm supposed to accelerate at my own speed. I'm supposed to compete with myself. Well, maybe I'm not so hot.
I happen to know your IQ, and it's pretty high. We have a test today, so hurry along, please. And turn in your homework.
Homework? Someone stole my homework.
It's legit. I fell asleep on the bus because I stayed up all night doing my homework. So when it stopped, I ran through the door not to be late and left my homework on the bus.
As I was taking down the assignment, my pen stopped. I had to study French, so I didn't have time for English. My brother took my homework instead of his homework. The page is missing from my book.
If the teacher wants to know something, why didn't you look it up herself instead of making we students do it?
There's no room. Because my uncle moved in, and I have to sleep in the hall, and I can't use the kitchen table.
The baby spilled milk all over it. In these hours when I have to do homework, I can watch TV.
What homework?
I hate to tell you this, a terrible tragedy. My dog went on my homework.
All right, Lenny, that makes it unanimous. That's quite unanimous. Thank you, Alice.
Why so many tests, Peach?
I learned your name, Carol. Couldn't you learn mine?
We see you every day. Why do you have to be formal?
Because it's protocol, dum-dums. Right, Miss Barrett?
You're a teach. Why not call you teach?
Don't open the test booklets till I tell you.
I don't care if I never will.
Anything you say, teach.
This doesn't seem to be part of your homework, Alice. You didn't read it. Read what?
Let me see. Big article. Memorize all poetry for me. Hey, leave her alone. I read it first. His voice. The way his eyebrows are up.
That's enough.
this year is causing difficulties in midterm examination schedules. Since there will be no final exam, midterm marks will count as 2/3 of the final exam. Students are to place on the floor all books, notebooks, and personal possessions. Students may not leave their seats for any reason whatsoever. Proctor is to approach the student at their seats to answer questions. No questions are to be answered by the proctor. The student desires to go to the lavatory. The proctor will escort the student to the door and summon the hall proctor who will escort the student to the lavatory. Male teachers will escort boys, female teachers will escort girls. Students must understand the importance of high ethical standards.
His voice, the way his eyebrow goes up, how to describe the emotion. If I could die for you, Paul, like the Lady of Shalott you read to us about, floating dead on a river under his window, and Lancelot never knowing, saying only, she has a lovely face, the Lady of Shalott. I keep praying, please make him love me or notice me in class where I sit. Make him take me in his bold embrace. When I look at the cracks in the ceiling and how ugly everything is, I think it's unreal. My house and my parents, real life is somewhere else. On moonlit terraces, tropical gardens, foreign cities, darkling woods.
All right, class. Ready? Begin. Get on with it. You too, Alice.
Sylvia, I see you have your test underway too. What do you think about while they take a test?
Oh, I think about... I should be thinking about that pile of dew before 3 Mimios.
Are you on to the official gobbledygook yet? Can you translate the following? Illustrated materials.
Magazine covers.
Enriched curriculum.
Teaching who and whom.
Right again. How about all evaluation of students should be predicated upon initial goals and grade level expectations.
It means if the boy shows up, pass him.
You're coming along fast.
Hey, Barrett.
Trouble. Yes, Joe?
I have to be excused.
We're in the middle of a test. Please continue.
What's the answer to question 4?
I don't think we covered part of this. No talking. Just do your best.
Barrett.
Finish your test.
I have to go to the can.
Couldn't you wait until
No.
You have to be escorted.
So get an escort.
Keep your eyes on your own papers. I don't see it. Proctor, call Proctor.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
There's no escort.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm going to trust you. Do I have your word you won't help her look up the answers?
Sure thing, Finch.
Does showing disrespect make you feel better, Joe? More important, a bigger man?
Some of these questions.
Don't waste time. Just do your paper, Charles.
I'm not cheating. I'm left-handed.
Since 5 minutes ago?
Okay. I'll do it right-handed. Whatever you say, teach.
I shouldn't have let him go.
Probably not.
I can't take this system so seriously.
Hey, is this 304?
Yes?
I'm the janitor. I come to fix the desk.
We're in the middle of a test. Could you come back later?
I was in the middle of the Wall Street Journal, but I'm going to come back.
Thank you. Did you get these absurdities? Lateness due to absence. High underachiever. Polio consent slips?
I can match yours any day. Please disregard the following.
All teachers, at the end of homeroom period, send those students who have failed to report for checkout because they've left the building to Mr. McHabe.
How do we send students who have left the building?
It'll be a challenge.
I'm forced to cancel library lessons on mythology. Your students create havoc. They had no respect for the printed page. 2 of them took out books indiscriminately.
Well, what better way to show respect than
Not only that, they misplaced the Golden Age of Greece, and they put Finch on the zoology shelf.
Miss Barrett, I plan to observe your class soon.
I see. Oh, Mr. Bester, the book room only has 11 copies of Romeo and Juliet.
Use Ivanhoe. They have 160 Ivanhoes.
I have some useful material for you, Miss Barrett.
A few more personality profiles. Lou Martin exhibits inverted hostility and manic behavior patterns. Eddie Williams must have paranoia due to socio-economic environmental factors.
What am I to do with that information?
My biggest concern is Joe Ferone. A dangerous situation. Explosive. It's imperative to challenge his aggressive impulses to socially acceptable attitudes.
How? What do you suggest?
Diet, nutrition, make sure he has a hot breakfast.
I'm not his mother. Stay out of this. He cuts classes and disrupts others. Every stairway is clearly marked an up stairway or a down stairway. He always goes the opposite. You'll have to do something.
Miss Barrett, will you come here, please?
Concentrate on your papers. What is it?
How dare you?
How dare I what?
Let him out of the room unescorted.
He had to go.
Unescorted?
There was no hall proctor.
You should have waited.
The situation did not warrant waiting.
His paper may be invalidated.
Why?
He may have been looking up answers.
You told me he wouldn't.
Oh, he told you.
Yes?
And you believed him?
I believed him.
Go back to your seat, young man.
I believed him.
Go in the first seat. I have no paper. Will you come here, please?
Yes, Mr. McHabe.
This isn't the time or the place to explain to you the gravity of your position. You had explicit instructions. You disobeyed them. When Ferone finishes, put his paper aside.
He did not cheat.
They don't need your coddling. They need discipline. We have to punish them. Punish them in every infraction. Because if we don't, they'll get it later from a cop or a judge. Had you ever been to juvenile court, Miss Barrett? Well, sure, we've got to win their respect. There's only one way to do it. Strict enforcement. There's a strong possibility your end-term rating will be unsatisfactory. See what they're doing. Keep track of them.
When the bell sounds, please bring your examination papers to my desk.
I finished early, Miss Barrett. Actually, I do write left-handed sometimes.
Thank you, Charles.
Hope I did okay, Miss Barrett.
I'm sure you did, Lou.
I mixed up my homework papers. Thanks for sticking up for me and for the class.
It was a hard test, Miss Barrett, but that's not your fault.
Here's mine, Miss Barrett. Now you have to mark them. Such a long day for you to teach. Tough night, Miss Barrett.
Everything's finished just fine, Miss Barrett. If it was up to me, I'd say a very satisfactory.
Don't mind him, Miss Barrett.
Big mouth.
You had us very well prepared. Thank you.
Maybe Homer isn't such a lousy writer. If you say so, I'll give him another try.
It's optional, Lenny.
In that case, I'll see.
You may fool them, but you don't fool me. You're even phonier than the rest of them because you put on this act. And being a girl you know how, pretending that you give a damn, just who do you think you're kidding?
Anything else, Joe?
No. Nothing else. It's too bad I can't believe you. That's all.
Come, Sylvia. She's beginning to think you've been communicating with anyone. You'd better communicate with Maddie. How are you going to answer her letter on the February vacancy at Willowdale? Tell me about Willowdale. It's a small suburban college. Pleasant, cozy. Maddie writes they have trees in the windows, and they sit in leather chairs and sip coffee.
Miss Barrett?
Yes, Dr. Clarke?
It has come to my attention that due to laxness on your part, one of our students is under suspicion of cheating. This can have a demoralizing and corrupting effect, and I find your actions upsetting and disturbing.
Yes, Dr. Clarke.
Incidentally, in looking over your record, I see a note from the payroll department about a salary overpayment of $2.75 for last June. That overpayment should have been taken care of long ago.
But I wasn't even here in June. I didn't start until...
Sylvia, is there any reason for not applying to Willowdale?
No reason.
Except what?
Except I like high school kids. I chose to teach here. Nobody forced me. It was my choice. And in spite of everything, I've got to keep trying.
Do you feel your reach should exceed your grasp? Miss Barrett!
Have to close. I'll phone tomorrow night after 8.
Love, Sylvia. That phone call should have come tonight. I wonder what happened.
Miss Barrett, I need your help.
What's the matter?
I did something so stupid I could die.
What is it?
The letter.
What letter?
To Mr. Barringer?
Oh, Alice, sit down. You sent a letter to Mr. Barringer?
You have to get it back. I mean, any minute he might come.
I can't do that.
It's in room 309. I left it on his desk. There was no one around, so I left it on his desk.
Then go over to 309.
I'm afraid. Suppose he's there. Suppose he's read it. How could I face him?
Alice, what's in this letter?
It was a terrible mistake.
Then get it back. Just go.
I can't.
There you are. I received your letter.
You did?
I want to talk to you about this letter.
You do?
I'd like to see you privately.
See me privately?
Excuse us, please.
Yes, mister. I mean, you want to talk about my letter?
And make a few corrections.
Corrections?
Yes, you use a series of dots instead of punctuation. Let's see. Dear Mr. Barringer, last Sunday I took the subway to your stop, insert comma. Having looked it up on your time card, ... I hope you don't mind the presumption. That's misspelled. I walked back and forth across the street from your house, insert comma, back and forth, and my heart was throbbing with this love I bear for you, ... Throbbing is a cliche. I think of you all the time. I pray to be worthy of you, and if you ever need me to die for you, I will gladly do so, ... I feel so deeply the truth and beauty. The cliches, no need to capitalize. But I have to speak out this love I feel, ... There's a lot of repetition here and a change of tense along with...
What did you do?
I handled her letter in the only possible way.
How?
As a composition.
Oh, no.
Yes. What does an erotic adolescent know about love?
Probably much more than you know about a nuclear physicist who's marooned on Kamchatka. There may be a vacancy at Willowdale Academy in February, and it is in this connection that I am writing to you. I hold a license in the New York City secondary school.
Do you know what the commotion is about outside?
What commotion?
Something's going on.
Miss Barrett, have you seen Mr. Barringer? He's wanted right away.
He left just a moment ago.
Where to?
No idea.
If he comes back, tell him to call the office immediately.
I don't expect to. A license in the New York City secondary schools, and I'm at present teaching at Calvin Coolidge High School.
Please send down the health card for Alice Blake. Urgent. Do you have any blank accident reports? I'm all out. Urgent.
No, I don't. Has there been an...
All teachers and students will remain in their class disregarding the bells until further notice. Teachers are to discourage morbid curiosity. Lesson plans are to proceed as usual with no reference to the incident.
What incident? What's happened? Such behavior is completely atypical with a girl with such a stable personality profile. But there are factors beyond our control.
The office needs you to fill out this emergency form.
I don't know anything about an emergency.
All you do, check 1, parent or guardian. Reached, not reached. By telephone, by telegram. Opposite parent or guardian of. Fill in Alice Blake. Then after, we regret to inform you. Please fill in.
Fill in what? Tell me.
Don't you know?
Is that the police? Or is it
probably the ambulance to take Alice Blake to the hospital? She fell out of the window. Now, the office wants you to fill out this form. Please check 1, parent or guardian. Reach, not reach. By telephone, by telegram.
I have noted and observed in assembly that a number of our students seem uncertain of the words of our alma mater song, The Purple and Gold. Teachers are advised to go over the wording with their students. Singing our alma mater with the right and proper feeling should foster and encourage a more appropriate school spirit and public image. The words of the first stanza are as follows. Ye loyal sons and daughters, whose hearts will never grow old, as long as ye are true to the purple and gold. Thank you.
Maybe that'll solve everything.
They're going to sing the alma mater. Sing it correctly. Look at that.
And what?
Suggestion box. Miss Barrett's installed suggestion box.
She's asking for it.
Almost the end of the term. Why start innovations now?
Because she can't wait. She's a masochist. That's a high school teacher who puts up a suggestion box.
Teachers are always telling us what's wrong with us. What about the other way around? I wish they all had suggestion boxes. Boy, would I like to tell them off. But you're all right, Miss Barrett. You said we gotta have the courage of our convictions and sign our names. But we don't have to, so I'm not.
Not enough boys and like too many girls. But that's not your fault.
And abolish Miss Friedenberg's interviews. They make me sick. Like when she asked me, am I ashamed of where I live? Signed, Edward Williams, II.
I don't like the way you dress. Too loud for a teacher. You should tone it down. And you're a low marker. Signed, your enemy.
Teachers are ruining America! This is the last time I'm written. Signed, the Hawk.
You seem to be a very understandable person. By that I mean you understand us not being fooled yourself. Too bad you're a teacher and pretty, like my sister. I wish you were a plain person. Then we could be close. Vivian Payne.
The way you read is too emoting, and you have pets, like Joe Ferone. He must be your pet because he gives you so much trouble. Signed, Neglected.
You're a good teacher, except for those rhyme books you have to teach, like the Odyssey. I wouldn't give it to a dog to read. Signed, Disgusting.
Is it okay if I start collecting money from the homeroom kids to send flowers to Alice Blake in the hospital? The thing is, we always used to sit next to each other. Carol Blanca.
On Mondays. What do you think we are, orators? Signed, Mark Anthony.
It is my considered opinion that you are very well qualified. No matter how boring the lesson, you always make it interesting. I suggest you continue the good work. Harry A. Egan.
Clean up the slums before you go to Mars. And stop the bomb before it's too late. As far as school goes, without us, there'd be no school. Ha! And no futures. Lou Martin.
Please tell Lou Martin to quit showing off. He thinks he's so comic. Well, I don't. Signed, serious student.
Have no fear, Miss Barrett. We're behind you 65%.
Thank you for showing me that there's nothing more important than communication. But with so many other students, I feel we are both wasted. Elizabeth Ellis.
I'm not a good penman, but I must tell someone. I mean, I think someone should know. I'm putting this in the suggestion box for the record. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday. Signed me.
You've written something brilliant again.
A parody of Ezra Pound, many cantos, which I plan to lay at the feet of our dedicated colleague. Is Sylvia back in school today?
Yes.
Where'd she go yesterday?
I haven't spoken to her.
I'm the villain. How would you handle a love letter from a student?
I have no idea.
Is Sylvia back? I have a problem about Alice Blake. She's listed in Sylvia's official class.
What's the problem?
An overdue book. She was a library 49 cents.
What book?
The Idols of the King, Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Well, you could always send a posse to the hospital.
I feel like a fool, but this is a matter of record. And not the first time. I had to warn her constantly about overdue books.
Doesn't it get you a little excited that a student really cares to read?
You sound like Sylvia. I used to get excited. Both no help, no books, and constant demands. All I care about now is for some shred of library to survive.
And right now you need 49 cents.
Right now, I'm caught with trying to maintain the rules I didn't make. But if paying the 49 cents would make you feel better.
I wish it were that easy.
I remember your comments in the teacher's lounge. Getting involved does them no good. So if you prove, think only of yourself. Amused detachment. You said that was the only way to remain intact.
I'm not sure it's possible to teach and remain intact.
Make up your mind.
As Ella Friedenberg would say, I have a problem.
But you're working on it.
All I really care about is maintaining my amused detachment.
Oh, come off it, Paul.
I have another parody for you. Gray's Elegy. Ah, the school bell tolls, the knell of starting day. Do not ask for whom it tolls. I see the students stairwards push their screaming way. I know, alas, it tolls for thee and me.
That's very clever.
I have others here, also very clever. When I didn't see you yesterday, I was afraid you'd left us. Glad you're back.
I think he's left more upset than he shows.
Perhaps. I couldn't even talk to Alice. She's not having visitors.
That's what I hear.
Miss Barrett, why have you neglected to send in the attendance sheet for today?
Because Linda Rosen wore a pink sweater and fuchsia stretch pants. She was seen by Mr. McHabe, who had her cool her heels in her office. She was also seen by the boys in my homeroom, who followed en masse to her vicinity. I'll take attendance later. Unless they follow her like lemmings into the sea and are all around.
I'll inform Mr. McHabe.
She had only one comment about Alice's accident.
Hand in before 3. Lock the number and book receipts for blank. Alice.
Mr. McHabe urges us to keep our public image intact and our students in their seats.
And Dr. Clarke urges us to be aware of our responsibility in a democracy.
Well, what else can they say?
I don't know. Some indication that they care about her. Are we supposed to be uninvolved?
There was nothing any of us could have done for Alice. She was having a very rough time outside.
How do you know?
Once she came to me, beaten, black and blue.
Beaten? What did you do for her?
I gave her a cup of tea.
Tea? Why tea?
What else could I do? I know more than anyone else here about what goes on outside. Poverty, disease, malnutrition. Yet I'm not supposed to give them even a Band-Aid.
But that's
Isn't it? I used to plead, bang on my desk, talk myself hoarse arguing with the kids, parents, welfare administration, social agencies. Nobody even heard me. So I give them a cup of tea.
But you're a nurse.
Have you read the directive posted on my wall? The school nurse may not touch wounds, give medication, remove foreign particles from the eye, and so on and so on.
I didn't realize.
So I hand out cups of tea and pass around notes. Poor nutrition is frequently the cause of poor marks. I don't know if anyone pays the slightest attention, but that's it for me. That's what I can do.
None of us is God. Nothing is our fault, except perhaps for teaching.
Are we teaching? Is anything getting through, or are we just talking to ourselves?
You were missed yesterday. I had to come down and rescue your substitute. Your kids were turning her into a nervous wreck.
Why would they do that?
Misguided loyalty?
To me?
You wouldn't believe the lesson anyway. She was having them turn literary works into tabloid headlines.
Such as?
Midnight Rider warns a foe. Chinese peasant plants rice, gets rich, loses all, gets rich and loses all again.
Which scare causes deaths of innocent citizens?
Not bad. Mad reports talking raven.
Maybe I should stay away.
Where were you?
I have a feeling my end term rating is going to be a big fat U.
No one's rated unsatisfactory unless certified loony.
That's not entirely true, Miss Schachter. Regarding our requisition, Miss Barrett, we are all out of red pencils, all out of board erasers. Our order for window pulls was sent to the board last spring. We must be patient. However, we do have some leftover posters. Blue on white, knowledge is power. Also, black on white, learning equals earning.
What I really need, Mr.
We must be patient. One thing more. A frivolous attitude and levity of tone towards attendance taking are unsuitable to the high seriousness of our profession.
I'll try to cut down on the levity, Mr. McHabe. Have you had a chance yet to go over Joe Ferone's examination paper?
Of course. So did Mr. Bester.
I've been waiting to hear, and I dare say Joe has too.
His mark was 86.
Any evidence of cheating?
You'd have heard.
No evidence of cheating.
That's right.
Well, shouldn't something be said? If not to me, at least to Joe?
Why?
I'm hoping he'll stay in school.
He should not have been let out unescorted. He knew that, and you knew that. The fact that he didn't cheat
should be noted.
To what purpose?
No one likes to feel unsatisfactory.
If you're concerned about getting a U,
I'm concerned about so many things, Mr. McHabe.
And you think you can handle the Joe Ferones? You travel to school for one day. You have a lance in every classroom.
What I'm asking. Some strong things were said. Now we know he did well, and since it was entirely on his own...
This time...
I'd like there to be a next time.
We'll always have more than we can handle. We must be realistic. You weren't here yesterday.
I spent the day at Willowdale Academy, being interviewed for a possible February job.
I see.
I was being realistic.
Yes. Yes, of course.
You upset him.
McHabe?
He's upset.
Not McHabe, never.
Sylvia, I don't find him inspirational either. But remember, his pupil load is 3,000.
Such a different world at Willowdale.
You mean nobody shouts I teach?
I mean, I'd only have 3 classes a day, 3 times a week. The other 2 days were seminars. I might even give a conference on Chaucer.
Well, if that's what you want.
I want to practice my profession, that's all. I want to be like Chaucer's The Clerk of Oxford. Gladly would he learn and gladly teach.
Why do you think your students picked on the substitute yesterday?
Ask McHabe. Ask yourself.
I have to get back.
Anything else happening here while I was gone?
Life was happening here.
Don't worry, Miss Barrett. We're behind you 85%.
My mother has been living with me for like 16 years, but she still insists on cross-examining me. Please talk to her. Signed, Linda.
I know school is supposed to help me with life, but so far it didn't. Rusty.
Tell us more about your own life. It makes you feel very human. I'm only miserable when I'm at home and never in English. And that's why I have this ambition to be an English teacher. Your friend, Vivian.
Teachers give tests for spite and to get even. You said we should sign our name. Signed, Anonymous.
When you call me to answer, don't call me when I don't know the answer. It makes me look dumb. You always call me other students when they know the answer. Signed, Edward Williams, II.
You have one of the best sense of humors I ever met. You make the lessons laughable. Carol.
Thank you for showing me that writing clearly means thinking clearly. Elizabeth.
Will you marry me? This is positive the last time I'm written to you. Signed, The Hawk.
I do enjoy the way your tone of voice makes poetry sound, and changing it from sadness or happiness depending on the poem. I went to the school library to look for more Robert Frost, but guess what? It was closed. Charles.
You never call on me, and when you do, it's very seldom. Jill.
I wish to commend you on taking an interest in mine and the class as a whole's grammar. Harry A. Egan.
Cafeteria lunches are lousy. Your enemy.
I'm no one special, so nobody knows me. Maybe if I drop out and get a job, I'd at least be someone with a job. Signed, me.
Give me one good reason to stay in school. Joe Ferone.
I can give you many good reasons.
To take all the McHabe dishes out.
It's time we talk this out. Can you see me?
Yeah, what's in it for you?
I'm beginning to wonder. For the time being, let's just say it's my job.
If I didn't know better, you'd even convince me. Save it for the sheet.
Joe, about our talk.
Miss Barrett,
Paul.
I'm slipping this into your suggestion box as the most likely place to catch your attention.
You've got it.
There's a rumor you're leaving the end of term. Why on earth?
Let's just say I couldn't find a proper response to hi, teach.
I wish you'd reconsider.
Why?
Because if you leave, where else am I going to get such ghastly honest literary criticism?
Are you sure you want criticism?
No, but just the same, you're needed here. You're our spokesperson, catalyst, infighter. Besides, you laugh good. Like an English teacher should. I'm not saying this to get a higher mark. Signed, Paul.
Paul invited me to the midterm party, but I just couldn't go. I mean, how could I celebrate with the man who corrects a love letter? You're leaving for Willowdale anyways. So what's the difference? The term ends this week, but there's so much more I wanted to do. Such as to have a little talk with that Ferone boy and turn him into a model student. Not a question of a model student. I wouldn't want him to be that. I suppose Harry Kagan's a model student, but he's also a stuffed shirt. Oh, and there's so much more to Ferone, but I can't seem to make any difference to him. And that's why I wanted to teach. Probably the one and only compensation. To make a permanent difference in the life of a child. In your first letter, you quoted a kid who said she's better off out. As far as that school's concerned, maybe you're better off out.
Miss Barrett, I'd like to speak to you.
Have to go. I'll write as soon as I can. Don't forget. Yes, Mr. Bester?
I have some unofficial comments on your teachings, none of which will appear on my formal observation report.
I see.
The lesson I observed was an interesting one. Was there a particular reason for choosing Robert Frost, the road not taken?
I wanted to lead them into a discussion of blazing a trail versus conformity, into the regret inherent in any decision.
Certainly, apropos.
Mr. Bester.
My comments follow. Ask your question first. Then call the student by name. Thus you engage the whole class in thinking. Avoid vague or loaded questions. How do we feel about this poem? Vague. Do we regret what we haven't done? The teacher obviously expects yes.
I see.
The boy next to me was doing his math homework. The teacher should move about the room. Immediate correction of English was affected. However, you missed. He should have took the road, on this here road, and he couldn't make up his mind.
Couldn't.
I liked the way you handled the hostile boy who came late, the one with a toothpick in his mouth. You made him feel the class had missed his contribution. But you should have made him remove the toothpick.
I've been fighting a losing battle with that toothpick.
Well, win it. And don't let a few students monopolize the discussion. Try calling on the non-volunteers. I'm not sure you're putting your energy where it's most needed.
Sure.
The cream will probably rise to the top anyway. Where our help is most needed, Miss Barrett, is with the skim milk.
I appreciate your criticism, Mr. Bester.
The lesson I observed was a fruitful discussion of choices. However, what really concerns me is your choice. But I see you have a class. My formal report will follow.
Before we get to Macbeth, I have a piece of creative writing. Cool. I saw him scuttling like a crook, making his fearful way stealthy among the dirty dishes crusted with grease, bearing food to his secret sons behind the drainboard. How fearful were his eyes? Shall I kill him?
Yeah.
Miss Barrett, is it clear that I'm writing about a cockroach?
Crystal, but the subject is Macbeth.
If you start to stifle me too...
I'd like to hear from some of the others. Do you have your homework on Macbeth? Carrie, good. I've been waiting out turn for you to raise your hand. What's your question?
Do you wear contact lenses?
Only when I read Macbeth. Have you read the scene for today?
Not all the way. I mean, you already know who did it.
Let's start at the beginning.
Right. The way I see it is Macbeth.
The title is called Macbeth.
The title is?
Macbeth.
Didn't you read it last term in English?
I ain't never read it before.
I've never read it.
Me neither. This story the author depicts this murder.
We're discussing the theme, not the plot. What's the difference? Linda?
The plot is what they do and the theme is how.
Not exactly. Vivian?
The theme is what's behind it.
Behind what?
The plot.
Mrs. Macbeth nudges him.
You mean nudges?
No, nudges. Being a female, she spurns mine.
Edward.
Edward Williams II.
The second.
The theme is he kills him for his own good.
Maria?
Me?
Yes, you.
Well, Maria, but I didn't have my hand up.
But I'm calling on you.
Why me, Miss Barrett? Did you read it, Maria? Yes.
But what would you say is the theme?
I didn't volunteer. My hand wasn't raised.
We'd like your opinion.
If you ask me,
Not this time, Harry.
if you want the theme, well, in my opinion,
I
think
asked
that...
Maria. Maria? The author tries to say...
Tries? Doesn't he succeed?
He tries to show...
He shows.
He shows you mustn't be ambitious.
Does he say ambition is bad?
Yes, very bad.
Maria? Isn't it good to be ambitious?
Yes, but not too
what?
Too much ambition is not so good.
You mean excessive ambition?
Can lead to big trouble. That's the theme.
That's right. You're right, Maria.
I figured out the theme.
Yes.
I was right.
I'll have to call on you more often.
Why not? Why not?
Not my colony.
Shakespeare's portrayed.
Amazing to Macbeth. The spirit. Anytime I have something to say, the bell rings. Because it's a short class. Maria's ready.
Hey, don't knock. Anytime they know about themes.
The real villain, Mrs. Macbeth.
I say he was led on by witches. Right at the top, they egg him on. What did they know about toil and trouble?
Remember when she hollers, out campus, Fox? She kept her mouth shut.
The bell, Joe. School's out.
I heard.
Is there something?
You keep asking me to stay for a talk. Okay. I stayed. How about that?
I see.
So what do you want to say? Come on. Let's go. Let's have it.
Well, I've been going over your entire record, and I'm struck by the discrepancies between your capacity and your achievement.
Do you mind repeating that in English?
How about, and I don't understand them big words, Teach. And you could keep asking me to repeat. You could drop some books, you could rock in your heels, you
Yeah,
could...
okay.
This is important, Joe, to both of us.
My discrepancies.
Your capacities.
So what's it to you? Why do you care?
I do.
It's what you said before.
Come back for next term, Joe. Don't drop out. Listen to me.
Are you listening?
Well, I'm trying.
You gonna be here?
Joe.
It's a straight question.
And then I have to say no.
No what?
I won't be here.
You won't be here. I see. Thanks anyway.
That doesn't mean...
We finished our talk, Miss Barrett. What makes you think you're so special?
Sylvia, are you all right? I remember the first time I was able to excite the class with an idea. A lesson on Browning's "A man's reach should exceed his grasp," or "What's a heaven for?" That's why I feel special.
Are you reaching for something?
Falling flat on my face.
What's happened?
How do you stand up?
You're serious?
Yeah.
Walk through the halls. Listen at the classroom doors. In one, a lecture on the nature of Greek tragedy. In another, a drill on who and whom. In another, a hum of voices intoning French conjugations. In another, silence, a math quiz.
Yes, but
whatever the waste, the stupidity, the ineptitude, whatever the problems and frustrations, something exciting is going on. In each of the classrooms, all at the same time, education is going on. Young people exposed to education. That's how I managed to stand up.
B, am I a dropout?
Don't be silly. You do what you feel is best.
For the first time, I've been seeing myself through the eyes of others.
Whose eyes?
For one, Joe Ferone's.
Get past the words, Sylvia. Get to what they're really saying. I have to get back. Another salvage problem.
Thanks.
Get to what they're really saying.
I don't know if you've noticed, Miss Barrett, but I've decided to dress more conservatively. And since talking with you, I don't wear lipstick in school, only on dates.
When I turned 17, my father says, why should he feed an extra mouth? That's me. What I'm trying to say, Miss Barrett, is I hope I can come back.
You've helped me by giving me a liking for school, which I previously lacked. If Alice were still sitting next to me, she'd sign her name too. So I'll sign for her. Carol and Alice. English would be better off with more teachers like you. They'd actually take an interest instead of just teaching due to circumstances. I'll never forget you as long as I live, Miss Barrett. You made me feel like I was real. I used to just sign me, but not anymore. Maria Rodriguez.
Miss Barrett, what makes you think you're so special? Are you listening? What I said. What I'm saying is that you're so special. You're my teacher. So teach me. Help me. Hey, teach. Which way do I go? I'm tired of going up the down staircase.
Principal, Dr. Maxwell Clarke, I wish to take this opportunity on the first morning of the first day of the February term to extend a warm welcome to all faculty and staff, and a sincere hope that we can go forward and upward together. Thank you.
Hey, she's back! Hooray, we got Barrett!
You want to think good about this place?
Couldn't do without us, hey? That's right. Please take your seat.
What's today's date?
It's February, moron.
I'm not late, because I was early.
You'll have to fill out the new attendance cards. Who's got a perm?
I hope we get a lot of new kids.
Still run out of seats.
Disregard previous notice about disregarding the bells, please.
The school library is your library. No students log into the library until further notice.
Hey, my desktop is still loose.
We have to be patient. Now, if you'll pass these cards out,
I hope we have you for creative writing this term.
All members of faculty are to emphasize the importance of nutrition.
Personality profiles, in depth, please.
I'm glad you're back, and that's from the heart, not the mouth.
Thank you.
I have a message from Mr. McHabe. You're to read it right away.
Not till I've taken attendance.
McHabe's that.
Mr. McHabe.
Right away.
After attendance. Why are you late, Rusty?
I'm not late. I had my English changed. I wanted you.
I'm glad. Well, find a place.
Miss Barrett,
Mary, Mr. McHabe wants to know.
I'm about to take attendance, Kathryn.
That's important.
Later. Attention, class. If I mispronounce any of the new names, please correct me. Our Buzzy, Helen. Oh, no, that's wrong. Please drop Sally.
No, it's right. I got a job after school. Decided to give it another try.
Me too.
Next.
Miss Barrett.
Yes, Mr. McHabe?
All I wanted to ask, could you use some of these signs? Blue on white, knowledge is power. Also, black on white, learning equals earning.
I'd love some posters, Mr. McHabe.
You would?
Well, of course you would. Please, go on with your attendance.
Axelrod, Leon.
Him? He's always absent.
You're lucky he's not here.
Yeah, will he give you trouble?
Erin. Charles.
You have to sign my book clearance. Thank you.
Charles Wade.
I'm dropping out, Miss Barrett.
Erin's Charles. Dropped out. Atkins, Jennifer.
Clarke be present, Miss Barrett.
Joe Ferone, present.
Here's this.
Here's what?
Book report.
That's no way to hand it to me.
Well, my aim is bad.
We'll have to work on that.
On what?
Your aim.
I made it! I'm back! New mark is behind you 95%!
I teach.
Hi, Pew. Blanca, Carmelita. Carol. Carol. Blanca, Carol. Here. Blaine,